Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to go ahead and give you my informative speech. The main purpose of this speech is to give you informative, useful, and interesting information. Now, I'm going to be covering 3 points. My first point is going to be the correct ways in which to factor trinomials. My second point is going to be practice problems that we're going to go over and solve together. And my third point is going to be why it's important to use factoring trinomials in real life. Okay, now while I'm no math expert or college professor, my future career choice is going to be in teaching high school math. So I am quite proficient when it comes to math. And I hope that by listening to this speech, you guys gain my same understanding and love for math. Okay, you guys ready? Let's move on. But before we do, I'm going to tell you a quick math joke. Have you ever seen your professor or your math teacher with graph paper? If so, it's because he's plotting something. Ha. Okay. So now on to point 1, which is the correct steps in factoring trinomials. Step 1 is going to go ahead and find all values for A, B, and C. Step 2 is to check for the GCF. Step 3 is to go ahead and multiply the values for A and C together. And step 4 is going to list those factors. And step 5 is going to create 2 sets of 2 by placing parentheses around those. No. Step 5 is finding the factors that equal the value of B and then substituting it in for B. Okay. Now, step 5 is once we substitute that in for B, we place 2 sets of parentheses around those new numbers that you just found, creating 2 sets of 2, and placing an addition sign in between. Step 7 is going to be to check for the new GCF, right? And then step 8 is going to be to cancel out the parentheses that occurs twice, and then place a new GCF in their own set of parentheses, and voila, you have solved it. Okay, now on my next point 2, which is going to be example problems, and we're going to go ahead and solve it together. But before we do, you know what your math teacher's favorite tree is? Geometry. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and screen share my computer, and then we're going to move on to solving the problems and everything else together. So, can you guys see my screen? Okay, so here we have these, and I'm gonna go ahead and sit down for this because it's just gonna make it easier when I type it out. So we have x squared plus 7x plus 10. Now, if we go ahead and find the, go by the steps, step 1 is to find all values for A, B, and C. So A is gonna equal 1. And then B is going to go ahead and equal 7, while C is going to go ahead and equal 10. Now, is there a GCF related into the x squared plus 7x plus 10? Let's see. No, there is not. There's not one common number that they all have in common. So then let's move on to step 3, which is to go ahead and multiply A times C, which is 1 times 10, all the factors for A times C. So it's going to be enter 1 times 10. You can have 2 by 5. See, 2 times 5. And I believe that's all of them. But we also have the positive and the negative for each of these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the positives and the negatives right there. And there you go, positives and negatives. And so let's see, which 2 factors can we get to equal B, which is 7. So obviously 1 plus 10 is not going to equal B, and 10 minus 1 is not going to equal 7 either. So 5 plus 2 would equal a positive 7. So here we go. It's going to be 5 plus 2. So we found the factors. Now we're going to substitute it in for B. So now it's going to be parentheses 1x plus a positive 5, which we just got, And then we're gonna have another parentheses, or actually a plus, because that's another one of our steps. And then parentheses, which is gonna be, we already used the 5, so 2 plus, actually, it's gonna be x plus 2, parentheses. So here, as you can see, if you multiply the 1x is 1x, right? And then you have the 5 times the 2, the 5 plus the 2, which would be 7, and then 5 times the 2, which equals 10, which would, of course, equal our x squared plus 7x plus 10. Awesome. Now, the next point is to see if there's any other GCFs. So 1 out of 5, there is no GCF there. And then x plus 2, there is no GCF there. So voila, that's the simplest form that it can be in, and that's solved. So here we can move on to our second problem, which is x squared minus 8x plus 12. Okay, so first we're going to go ahead and identify the values for a, which is going to be a equals 1. Then we're going to have b equals a negative 8. Ooh, something different. Okay. Negative 8. And that's not right. And then c is going to equal positive 12. Awesome. So now we go ahead and we want to see if there's any GCF in there. Let's see. No, it's not, because it starts off with just x squared, which is just 1. So we're going to go ahead and multiply a and c together, which is 1 and 12. So let's see. We have 1 times 12. Then we have 6 times 2. Then we have 3 times 3, 6, 9, 8, 12. 3 times 4. Yeah. 3 times 4. And then that'll be it. And then they'll each have positive and negatives on them as well. Since I'm not really in the mood to add it right now, we've covered that part. So we all understand it already. So let's see, which one of these would equal negative 8? So negative 6 times plus or minus 2 would equal 6, 7, 8, negative 8. 3 and 4 would equal 7 or 1. 12 and 1 would equal 11 or 13. So it's going to be a negative 6 minus 2. So then we're going to go ahead and do parentheses, and we're going to do 1x. And then we're going to do minus 6, close parentheses, do plus. Okay, then we're going to do parentheses right there, open parentheses. And then we're going to go ahead and have 2, negative 2. And then actually, this is 2 minus, so that's on 12. No, sorry about that, guys. It's negative 2 plus 12. Close parentheses. Okay, there you go. And then after that, is there any other GCFs? 1 and 6, no. 2 and 12, yes, there is. Let's see. So we can go ahead and take an x out of here, open parentheses. No, we can't. So it's just going to be negative 2. So this is going to be a 2, parentheses, 1, plus 6. 1 plus 6. And then, so obviously this repeats with what's already over there. So this is 1x plus 6. So now we have this. So we took out the next GCF, and that obviously like corresponds with the one up there. So this is actually supposed to have x, and this is supposed to have x too. So these are supposed to have x's up here as well. Okay, anyways, so voila. If the answer would go ahead and be, okay, it's gonna be 2, and then it's gonna be minus 1, minus x. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, there we go. And then over here, we're gonna have open parentheses, 1 plus 6, close. Okay, there you go. And that is solved. Voila, we solved them together. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stand back up. And you're probably wondering, well, how much longer is this speech? And well, thankfully, I'm on my third and final point, which is why it's important to use factor trinomials in real world situations. So you actually need factor trinomials in upper level classes and upper level science classes, which is really important if you're into all that science geeky stuff. You know, I'm not, but well. And the other reason is that you'll need it when you do mortgage calculations or stock fund transfers. Now that we've covered all of that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our conclusion. So in conclusion, you know, mathematics provides mental rigor, and it allows us to have a good mental stimulation, you know. So I hope that through this video, I have shared my same love and understanding for math with you guys. We went ahead and covered the following steps, which were how to correctly solve factor trinomials. We practiced problems and solved them together. And I told you why it's important to know to factor trinomials in real life situations. So that'd be it. Bye.